Okay, here we are. This is February the
22nd.
and we are down at the ocean here
It's a
in
beautiful
Rockland,
day
Maine.
in Maine. Blue sky.
Finally.
We're down at the water's edge.
Did you hear the seagull just then?
Yeah, we're looking out over the harbor and the lighthouse.
Yep, and the breakwater.
Yeah.
So,
And,
very lovely day.
That's a good place to sit and talk. Last time we talked to you, we were at the kitchen table.
Yeah. Yes.
And sometimes we've been in a little table where we sit and write together at night.
Yeah.
So you get
So
to
our
travel
conversations come from all over the place right now.
Where we are, that the words seem to be ready to come.
Yeah. So today we thought we were...
we talked about the menu the last one.
Oh, yeah, that was menu.
The menu that we were planning was to actually help us assimilate the work we're going to talk about, the work we're doing right now.
Yeah. So now what we're in the middle of...
You're Robert.
Oh, I'm Robert, and this is...
Suzanne, and this is Tabletop
Theater
Conversations.
So welcome once again. And today, and we're Clarity Artists, and you're here at situlacodex.com, and there's lots on this site to help support you in your creative personal journey.
Yeah. In fact, right now we're in the middle of actually working on a new book about Kundalini.
Yeah.
And that's the whole focus of the book, and the knowledge that we have accumulated in what did you call that? Visually.
Oh, as what I was looking at the pages you were building today, and I said it's such a perfect blend of words and image.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Because our life is so much of that. Words and image and our daily life. And Kundalini is about the daily life that gets stood still, and awakening happens when we least expect it.
Yeah.
And when
it comes a knocking,
it comes
at the
a
door,
and it usually comes. It can come when we're calm and reflective, but it also often comes when there's a storm, and the storm is there, and we need a way out, and it will grab a hold of us and make a way out. Some of the most difficult storms, it certainly will, or the patterns that we've stored up from storms in our lives that we now need to dig out and release, so that there's room for what the storm was about, that what we were changing.
Yeah.
So there's room for it. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not, but it's always helpful.
Yeah.
You know, I've experienced it in both ways, but it always comes to a great opening that I really desperately need. And so I'm grateful for it. And I think as we have done this, it's made me even more grateful. As the images come up, they're just like matched up with words immediately. I go to the patterns and the pictures and the octaves of our life, and there's one that like stands out. I don't even have to think about it, and then I put it into the format for the book, and then I punch language and words, and it's there.
Yeah.
It's there, word by word, line by line, and it's funny. I'll put one line in, come back because it'll be finished, and go to the text again, and then punch it, and then the next line is there, but it won't be there sometimes when the first line was there.
Isn't something how that just...
Yeah, it's very wonderful, but all that comes from all the previous Kundalinis, the ability to do that. And I think that we're piece by piece going through this wonderful awakener of consciousness, and how it works, and piece by piece how it builds within us who we are, and a way of showing it. Yeah,
I think that's just amazing, and I think the Kundalini is one that just really unknots the knots. The knots of your life, you know, the thing that you were not to do this, you're not to think that, you're not to speak that, all those knots. And it's like a shoelace that gets a knot in it, and the Kundalini comes along and starts loosening it.
Yeah, because it's a worry knot.
And sometimes you have little worry knots that are just, they're just looped, and you can just they just come right out. And others are more tenacious, and you have to, it has to kind of work at it more. But it's loosening so that you can breathe again into your authentic nature.
And I hope that through this, I don't really have an agenda, but what I'm finding as we move through this book, which we didn't plan, it just became, that it unwinds our life, and it also makes you somewhat aware of the seriousness of Kundalini and the worth of you. That serious Kundalini has come to visit.
It's worth the
because
time.
it's worth the time because it's already been signaled there's something more for you, and it only comes because of those signals.
Yeah.
And so at the same time, you're honored, you're somewhat, uncomfortable and maybe afraid, but then also as you do it, you start learning how to work with that, how to work with it, that force. And when it comes, you start knowing its language, what it feels like, how it works with different parts of your body, and you learn how to surrender into it. And the world is more, you're more able to make room for yourself because it's going to take room.
And that is no small thing.
No, it's no small thing.
I mean,
so
some
it
people
takes
have
piece
that.
by piece.
Some people have the opportunity to have that more in their lives, but there are a lot of people that are just in the day-to-day rhythm of living and surviving, that it's a little more of a challenge, but it's very essential that when that visits you to drop into it.
People that have it more, Robert, have done something to get more.
Yes.
It doesn't actually, whether you're rich or poor, it doesn't just come with with the life. It's something, because if you've come with that kind of room, you're going to have to make even more room.
Yeah.
Because
You're
maybe
right.
your job is even bigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it always seems to seek out the creatives because they have the spirit of searching
and change,
wanting answers, have lots of questions, and they want change. You're right.
Yeah, and they're brave.
Yeah.
Because to be a creative and actually function in one in this world, number one, that takes a lot of courage.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes change in your life, whether you're a child or an adult.
Yep.
A man or woman.
Yeah.
If you're older, it all takes courage.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing that this week.
So I've been building this book, and you've been doing such a focused.
But I'm learning a lot
focused
about myself.
Energy with it, and it's just, and we're just, and the lovely thing is, at the end of each day, we put it up on the television, the bigger screen, and then we all get to look at it,
and share it with our family,
and it's just so nurturing to see.
And we've all been there.
That. So, as each of these pages get built, we're fortunate enough that we don't have to wait until the entire book is there before we get to see
with
it.
With the different gifts.
We get to share in it as it goes along. Is there different gifts
that we receive? Sometimes we don't know exactly where they came from.
Yeah.
And when you read this, you start knowing where they came from.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that isn't just something that happened. It's a real thing that got built.
Yeah.
It's a real intention of my whole existential presence that is making sure that this flow comes at this time to actually accelerate or open up doors or whatever. And it's very intentional.
Yeah.
It's not very accidental, is it?
No. And to see this 33-year arc of its presence, and then you can see back even before we came together, and you can see the creativity that you had and the desire that you had to create something, and you can keep, and then it rolls back and back and back until you're a little girl, and the things that you created in those vignettes,
and you had
those
to
boxes, and all of that is a thread that shows you what you've been the whole time, and then how to unfold that
and when the energy in
further.
your life starts becoming maybe want and desire, but then it becomes want, desire, and need, and when it becomes need, it becomes much stronger.
Yeah.
And that's what shifts as we mature, as we go through the cycles of our lives. That need becomes stronger and stronger, and it becomes very important that it is fulfilled. And I think that when we came together, I was changing, but I didn't know what I was changing to or what I was changing about. and I certainly wasn't planning on changing my life to the extent that I actually did.
I think when people have big changes, they don't ever have that big picture of the
Thank
beforehand.
heavens.
Yeah, because I think they would they'd run away
God.
screaming sometimes. But so we're working with that. We're talking about building
support the
this
world,
book.
and because the Kundalini, it's not just us that have it, our planet
No.
has it.
No,
Our
no.
galaxy has Kundalini,
Mhm.
our universe, and it's all moving right now
Yeah, it's the flow of
the
energy.
same as humanity is.
Yeah.
So all of
Yeah, they're not
only
disconnected
us,
from each other
but
at
Gaia
all.
in our world right now is going through a Kundalini.
Yeah.
So what this book is to help us know how
With
to
that
sit
passage,
into it. And
yeah.
that passage. And so Robert's doing new kinds of videos that are short.
Yeah, we're starting to use the iMovie program and getting some short 1-minute clips onto both all three, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, those social medias, putting on little clips that help you peer into the creative world. And what you're seeing is anything from mixed media, things that we've done, to paintings that we've done, all patterns that work with assisting.
They're imprential light patterns,
Yeah.
mycelial imprential light patterns that assist with consciousness
And then the
expansion.
mycelial, of course, is that rooted livingness, that awareness from the plant life of the mushroom, and the communication
and it's not just
it
on
has.
this planet.
No, and the communication it has between plant and tree, and it's that network that spans the globe, and it informs us because we are part of and partake of this world and the plant life, and that plant life is just a synthesis of light from the
Well,
sun.
it's a consciousness.
And it's a consciousness of light. So this is what we're sharing, is how
We're expanding that sharing.
how that consciousness can
And it's not
become even more aware.
It's not because we're trying to push it out.
No,
It's
it's
done
just-
with the timing of need.
Yeah, it's just
and
our
so
expression.
things open up, and
Mhm.
this is to go out in this kind of way.
Yeah.
And then later it may open up and it goes out another way.
Yeah.
Always returning to the desire, the want, and the need.
Yeah.
So I love these clips.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Been happy
accompanied
with them.
beautifully by the work of Gabriel Sound, Christina,
The music with this
and
is just
Suzanne, their collaboration.
so in tandem and so interwoven
Yeah.
with it.
With the work that
Yeah.
we do.
Because that's what she wanted. She wanted this work's information to inform her expression in music, and they just go together so hand in glove.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So you'll enjoy them, and there'll be plenty more, because we'll do all kinds of things
Yeah.
with this sort of thing.
It seems like every day I start working with the Kundalini pages in the book, and then I pick up. I'm even working with imprential patterns that Robert's put online. Put those on a page in the book,
Yeah.
and on pages.
Because we do the healing
and
patterns
then-
at night on Instagram, and then we share it across to
I wish we could
Twitter
put some of
and-
the clips in it, but
in what? How?
in the book, but we can't because
Oh, yeah.
they've eliminated that. We used it one time.
We
could have
can
done
do
that.
it through Apple Books, because they have that option. And well, at some point we'll work with the Designer Pro program that we have, and that allows for embedded video and audio.
But have ever thought of putting it in our regular blurb without that, and then republishing the book with the clips on Apple? It's like two different books.
Yeah, we can do
One
that. in
has
two-
the clips,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then one does it, and then it's
Yeah.
available in different
yeah,
ways.
but we can't use the BookWrite program to embed anymore. See, that
No,
was.
I already know
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, but yeah, through the other, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
we can.
completely different.
Okay, that's a good
We
idea.
Completely do it the way we usually do it,
And then do another
which we
version
love.
with
and then do with another
That's a good idea.
another version
You heard it here first.
where the clips
As we
could
work
be
through this.
in,
Yeah.
so that you can get it in two different places.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
But
idea.
in actuality, it's two different books.
Yeah,
completely.
yeah, absolutely.
So that would be fun.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
like that.
Yeah,
I became
I
a
do
fan.
too. Well, that
Yeah.
worked, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you all noticed while we were talking, if you'd looked up, you would have seen the loon going past us to the left, but he's left the scene now. He's gone around the bend over
Well,
there.
because the ferry's coming out,
Oh, that's right. The ferry's
getting
heading
ready
out.
to go past the lighthouse.
Go over to Vinyl Haven. So,
Over to Vinyl Haven. Can you hear the waves? It's really,
oh, listen to that.
yeah.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Very soothing to be here. Have the
well, we need the water.
ions of the water and the
Mm-hmm.
air and the sunlight. It's really
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah, we've been very focused
And tucked in. So
and tucked in.
So it's kind of like we've gotten out and kind of stretched our wings and our legs and been able to move around. Feels very nice. And
Yeah, this is our grocery day. We talked yesterday about the
that's
menu.
right. Uh-huh.
This is the day that all the groceries get picked up
Mhm.
and put away
Yep.
and start getting ready for the week.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Christmas shopping.
So here. Let's see. This is a Monday when we're recording this,
Mhm.
the 22nd. Tomorrow's a Tuesday, and we do a deep listening.
But we usually get together about
Yeah,
12,
and so that works with the
kind of a
reading the
brunchy-
book that one of the books that we have.
Strap Up for the Valkyrie is the big book,
The
Traveler's
big book,
book.
and
that
then the
we're-
books within it. There are like 12 books inside that
Yeah, well,
volume,
we are going through that and
and
getting
doing
it ready.
proofread. So
Mhm.
we have
And
all the
doing
artwork
the
and the
writings
text
over-
for that.
Yeah.
So we're
So,
about
very exciting. Well,
We're
we're pretty
halfway
close.
through that book. So it'll
Yeah.
be published in
Well, we'll
by
probably
next
do
month,
more.
probably.
Yeah, this month.
this month even.
Maybe.
Yes, this month. Of course,
Yeah.
today's already the 22nd. Let's have no pressure, shall we?
I know. Oh, we're doing and so really doing good with our alchemical mind. It keeps increasing its popularity.
Yep.
We're almost already at 600 this
Yeah.
month,
And we had to.
and that doesn't include the people on
Yeah.
Facebook or
Yeah.
Instagram.
And we know this is so funny because there are lots of people that have thousands upon thousands of followers, or even hundreds of thousands or millions, depending who they are.
And we're
And we keep seeing this little clip that gets posted in Instagram where
And the reels.
there's some lady sitting there saying,
Different people.
"I just want to announce that I now have a worldwide following of 4." It just cracks us up because it's kind of like, oh, that's
too
pretty
close
close,
to home.
pretty close to what we are. Yeah, so,
Oh God,
but we're happy to have anyone
we love that. We love that we
being
do have people.
in a space where that this is something that is shareable to them, to their heart,
Yeah.
to what they're feeling.
And it's a practice that we love to share, but also we need ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, we're
That we
doing it
need
for
as a
us.
family,
But
yeah.
we know there are others that are out there that are
Yeah.
welcoming support on their own journey. So this is a way to do that for all of us.
Yeah, it really is. So
Wow.
this is so that's pretty much what we're working with, and we're also getting ready to do another tabletop on squared perspective.
Oh
alone.
yeah, we'll probably
So
do that
we
tonight.
Yeah.
I suspect it may be 3 in the morning, but
I know
possibly
our schedules are.
are a little.
But we do get
they're their
get
own thing
anywhere
right
from
now, aren't they?
7 to 9 hours of sleep
Yeah.
every night. I think that's amazing.
I know.
and all of that. It may not be at the regular times
Mhm.
that people get sleep, but
Yeah.
we're kind of awake when they're asleep sometimes.
Yep.
And that's okay. Sometimes our rhythms are more European.
I really. I
They're on
know.
another continent.
I know.
And also sometimes it's
Must be why we're
actually
having more people
kind of
connecting.
easier when everybody isn't up.
Yeah. I think that
there's
when you
more
said
space.
European, it seems like on our Twitter we're getting more people right now from Ireland and Scotland, and so it must be a match in time rhythm that's going on. And why that's
true.
why that's happening.
Oh,
But
What
we're
time is it?
grateful.
oh,
Let's see,
19
we've done
minutes.
19
So we've
minutes.
got a
That's pretty
little
close.
bit more to share.
We like to do this between 20 and 30 minutes.
Yeah, to share with what we're bringing forward right now. Anything else you want to say about the films?
Well, I'm just glad that format has come forward so that we can, because there is such a reach for and desire for new information, but using video where there's motion that you're seeing on your screen, a lot of people are more comfortable with engaging in that. So for using that format now, and we have been moving toward it for
Well, I
a
love it.
couple of years, and it always
We're very film oriented.
yeah.
And,
So
and,
we're
visual.
very visual, and so right now we have the imagery and the music, and at some point we may even scarily poke our faces in there, because people do like to know who is behind the creative
Yeah.
voice that they're looking at. So
Yeah.
we'll take a deep breath and do that at some point.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been such a deep breath, 15 years ago. It's deeper
Or 20
as
or
you get
30
older.
years. I know.
It's
Yeah.
a little deeper
We could
breath.
just
And then
put-
it gets to be no breath at all because we don't care.
We could put little paper bags over our heads and draw faces on them. I don't think we'll do
That's
that.
an idea. Well,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah, or mask. We'll put a little mask
You can put your glasses
on a
on top
popsicle
of it.
stick,
Oh, anyway.
We're being silly.
It's funny the way everything works. And
Yeah.
it seems like that when we get our feet and get ourselves dug in, that's when the digging starts.
Yep.
Digging us up.
Yep.
And
Loosening up our roots.
yeah. I
Spring's
see.
coming. The trowel's
kinda
getting
comical.
nearer and nearer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
we'll loosen up the soil.
yeah, we will. And I also seen that as I'm working with this book and working with the different formats that have come forward, that they switch around. You think, okay, this is the format, I do it over and over, and put the new pictures in, I put the words up here, and then all at once, it switches around, and all at once you're putting all the words at the top, and not some at the top and some at the bottom. And then I'll be doing the patterns today to put the patterns to go on this other page. And all at once it switches off, and then we're back to working with pictures again. And it just spins your head around, you know. And
But you
it
are
makes sure it's like
become-
wind. It gives you new wind, and you don't get all stuffy.
Yeah. And the flexibility that you have to move with these changes that seem to come out of nowhere. It's just, that's neurobics. That's
Yeah, it is.
brain exercise. That's
My brain needs that.
having to look at it at a new angle and a new perspective to see it rotate and shift, which means that you have that capacity as well.
Well, it's all because of these shifts. Because I didn't have near the humor that I have now when I started out.
Yeah.
It was like I was a very serious little girl, and a very serious mother, and as you know, and then my life just started bouncing all over the place, and I couldn't even begin to be serious about it because it wasn't too serious to anybody, or maybe seriously bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that it's a gem. Working
gem.
with the spirituality of your life is a regular gem. And that's J-Y.
YM. Well, and JEM too. It can be. So.
Yeah, and you think this is good, and this is set, and this is who you are, and then you have a Kundalini rise, and nothing's set, and that isn't who you are at all, and in fact, you don't even know who you are, and then finally, when you settle in, you're on a new canvas.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had so many different lives in this life, but I'm so grateful.
Me too.
When
Me too.
we came together, because we're flexible enough together to do these many lives together.
We
And
truly
that's
are.
really-
Yeah.
That's really a gift.
And having the fact that organically our expression is creativity. We're so fascinated with it. We're so curious about it. We want to see something appear from almost nothing. A blank page, and then all of a sudden there are words on it, or a blank canvas, and suddenly there's imagery and on it. It's just the magic of creation. It's just fascinating to us.
I think our life, so many people's lives have been and are right now. The biggest part of their life is debate and a one-smanship and who's good and who's bad and what's ugly, and we just don't have time for that.
No.
It's like it takes up too much life force.
Yeah.
What we want to know is all the different sides of what makes the whole thing, and that exploration. That's the people that we actually relate to and enjoy. are those kind of seekers.
Yeah.
That they're not so much ready to argue with you; they want to explore with you.
Mm-hmm.
They want to
There's a
join
big difference
in.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah, they want to stick their hands down in it, and oh my God, and they want to seek the same thing we're seeking.
Yeah.
And we don't have a dead end answer.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
the world is really being forced out of its dead end answers.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have a school system that can manage to hold a dead end answer anymore.
No.
Or have students in it to hear it.
Yeah. These new kids are they're already in a new place.
Yeah.
And
they'll surprise you.
They're having to catch up with this newness.
Oh, well, it's just like the boys.
Mm-hmm.
The boys went to Raleigh in a very kind of different, very different kind of school, and not oriented to grades and to grades like first, ninth grade or fifth, and they're not, and also grade scores, and so you think, oh my God, I think one of the teachers told them that when they went to the so-called big school of high school after there, that they probably would have to go back a grade, that they would have to, they wouldn't do as well for at first. And the whole joke of it was they did fabulous.
They did.
This year they were summa laude.
Or
How you
cum
say cum laude?
laude.
I'm really
Whatever.
It wasn't a chocolate. But anyhow,
It wasn't even an espresso,
I know,
but
that's
it was really
that's
good.
how much I'm into it. But anyhow, they could work without the system, and they can work with the system, and that's what these indies are.
Yeah.
And so they don't really care, and because they don't really care, things are they're falling out, loosening up.
Yep. And then
And they could go years without the formal school system, and they're still doing really well.
Yeah.
And with all this in the pandemic, with all this kind of half school, they come up this last year in their senior year, and they're on top of it all.
Yep.
That's the miracle of this time, of these kids. Not just my grandchildren, it's all these kids.
Yeah.
They are a whole new story.
Whole new batch, aren't they?
Yeah, I love it. Well,
Thank you for listening. The loon was there just a minute ago. Did you see him?
yeah.
But he's
I
back
did.
under the water. He's out in front of us somewhere because I saw him a
I'm
moment
getting a
ago.
little chilly.
I am too. So it's time for the sun's starting to go down a little bit more, and the cool air is coming back in. So I guess we'll go tuck ourselves inside.
Yeah, we're wrapped
Have
up,
a
but
good
in our new cozy
afternoon
clothes.
or morning or evening, depending on where you are and when
there's
you're
the
listening
loon.
to this. Oh, there he is. So we will talk to you again at the next Tabletop Theater Conversation. Thank you for joining us this time. Say hello to everyone that you know. Perhaps they'd like to have a listen to. Bye.